As advocates, you may well come across the term a community DoLS. So that refers to where people are not living in a care home or hospital, which is what the DoLS, Deprivation of Liberty Safeguards, are written for and only apply to. However, it is illegal to deprive someone of their liberty in any setting. And the discussion came around because a lot of care homes, especially for people with learning disabilities, were being deregistered and becoming supported living. So in effect you're giving people without capacity the tenancies which they couldn't sign, but they are now not in a residential care home, they are in a supported living environment. They may be receiving the same care from the same providers, but they're not protected by the Deprivation of Liberty Safeguards. So if you lack the capacity to decide on your care and living arrangements, you could be in a situation you're still deprived of your liberty because of the restrictions placed upon you. You can't consent to your care and treatment arrangements, and you're not free to leave. In those situations, it's up to the local authority to apply to the court of protection to have the deprivation of liberty authorised. Advocates may well suspect, especially in doing that environment to work with somebody, that maybe as a Care Act advocate or just a professional advocate working with people, that the circumstances might amount to a deprivation of liberty, and they should be advising the local authority to have that tested to see if that amounts to, their circumstances amount to deprivation of liberty, and then urge the local authority to apply to the Court of Protection for that deprivation of liberty to be authorised. Care Act advocates are in a very good position to see that, because they're working with people in all sorts of situations and may be called in to help someone with their review or even their assessment and planning. Before anyone's thought about whether someone's, those arrangements are for deprivation of liberty, and during those that work you may well feel that this person does actually will be entitled to the protections given to them by the Deprivation of Liberty Safeguards, even though they're in a supported living environment. So going to that case to the court is the responsibility of the local authority, and the judge will decide whether the conditions amount to a deprivation of liberty, and may put down conditions as to how that should be managed. One of the things the judge might do, if he does find that the person is deprived of their liberty, in the conditions he sets out may be the appointment of a what they might call a 1.2 representative. The debate about this is whether it should be an advocate or an officer of the court, but the idea is that it works a bit like an RPR, that you're a regular visitor to the individual, you can keep an eye on the care and treatment the person's receiving and whether that is in line with the court order that's been made, and if not, you can take a case back to court to for the judge to pronounce on anything else that might be necessary. So if individual's care needs change, or the deprivation becomes stronger, i.e. it has more restrictions, then you might want to take that back. And those representatives might often be an advocacy provider, or it may be a visitor from the court.